Hello and welcome to the kind of end of Saturday Ri3D at Purdue general kind of robot plan overview. So going back to kind of our original goals, the big thing to us was ground intaking fuel, trying to get at least 15 to ideally closer to 20 of them per cycle, and pursuing better than the low climb if at all possible. We figured kind of as we went and we defined geometry and stuff like that, we'd either lean towards a little more fuel and the low climb, or ideally similar to 2022 or games like that, it doesn't feel like medium or like the mid climb is very common. It's a lot of times either doing the low or the high. So here's our kind of rough plan. Rough chassis measurements until CAD gets completely done with their geometry, as we're thinking the rails in between the swerve modules should be about 21 inches and about 26 to at most 27 inches respectively. The goal of this is that we can do kind of 3 balls or 3 fuel wide, so that we can load them up into a shooter, and we can do at least about 3 to 3.5 deep to make sure we have plenty of space. Going to a kind of really rough side profile, as I said, they're kind of knocking out the final geometry in CAD. As we do a flip out intake, from that we will kind of be able to store 3 fuel on the bottom. We will push it up and around a back indexer wheel and run along that same track on top, straight into our shooter. The goal is that's to score 1, 2, 3, a 4th fuel in this middle kind of spot along this indexer wheel, a 5th, a 6th before it gets to the shooter. Now, I mentioned going 3 wide because slightly different than the hopper, kind of some of the other comparisons we've seen to 2017, we kind of are worried about inconsistency with that and getting the fastest cycle time possible, especially with how if you're kind of scoring in between the transition period between like S1 and S2, you potentially are running half a cycle and half your fuel don't really score you points. So with that in mind, we plan on dividing straight out of our intake into 3 separate pathways. The idea is they will feed up probably to the outside edges, and when those fill, they will overflow to the middle. So they'll run up 3 separate hopper paths to 1 really big shooter. With how big it is, we don't foresee having issues shooting 2 or 3 fuel at a time. But of course, we'll see how final testing goes and if we need to separate off those tracks. But going back to our original number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, that means we should score at least, we should hold at least 18 fuel per cycle, with a goal of trying to squeeze in a 7th to get us to 21. But we'll see how that goes. Because there's an extra little bit of width at the end, we're still kind of debating if we maybe go to try and fit in a little more fuel, or we're letting our the team we call Seeking Endgame and Long Shots, or SEALs. They are still pursuing if there is a good way to get us the high climb, and if so, we will give them a little bit of space kind of where they need it and shift our robot accordingly. So that's our general overview. Our goal is we'll at least get geometry CAD done tonight, but until then, good luck to everybody, and let's hope this pans out as well as we hope it does.